Pavan Varma, the point that Rahul Gandhi made, which the BJP has taken grave exception to, is he has ridiculed this whole new parliament inauguration, the Sengol, and I think the exact words that he used was lying down and all that, almost in a mocking kind of a tone. Is the BJP, does it have a point when it says, you know, what Mr. Modi was trying to do was to give a sort of pride of place, if you will, to the Sengol? Of course, whether it was used as an instrument of transfer of power, you know, the history on that may be disputed. But the fact is that this was a Chola era relic that was given to Pandit Nehru, and it was then consigned to a museum. What Mr. Modi was trying to do was to bring back some kind of a civilizational reconnect to India's historic democratic traditions, using the Sengol as a symbol.
Well, thank you, Zaka. First, I want to just say, if you'll correct your description, where I'm either described as an author and ex-diplomat, which are both true. But I may not be part of any political party, but I am in politics. I have been a former member of Parliament of Rajya Sabha and a cabinet minister in Bihar, and still very much in mainstream politics, but not part of any political party. Having said that, you see, if you're asking my views on Parliament, I would say that in a democracy there were 2 or 3 shades of opinion on that decision. There was one view which held that the existing Parliament building has been a historical witness to the making of New India and should be retained. The other view was that it should be refurbished, modernized and retained. And a third view was that we shouldn't spend so much money on a new building. Whatever the past, we have a new building. It's a modern building. It's a spacious building. By all accounts, a great deal of thought has gone into the making of the new parliament, representing all parts of India. And I think now that it's been made, we should welcome it. Now, as far as the Sengol and the inauguration is concerned, I have in a column recently written that I would have been happier if the President of India, who heads Parliament under Article 79 of the Constitution, which expressly states that the Parliament consists of the President and the 2 houses of Parliament. If the President of India would have inaugurated the Parliament. I have also said that if the President had done so, we would have had the presence of the Vice President of India who chairs the Rajya Sabha. Be that as it may, that is a question the government took. I differ with it, but I still welcome the new Parliament building. Now, as regards the Sengol, you see, being secular does not mean being anti-religion. We have on Parliament, in Rashtrapati Bhavan and everywhere in India, the 3 lions. They belong to the era of Ashok the Great, who was a Buddhist. Our Independence Day speech by any Prime Minister is made from the ramparts of the Red Fort, which was built by Emperor Shah Jahan, who was a Muslim, and within that palace he has a beautiful mosque. So, in that sense, we are not anti-religious, but we have to be equivalent to all faiths. Now, I'm happy that in the inauguration of the new parliament, there was an all-faith prayer meeting. Where the Sengol is concerned, my personal view is that it was the symbol of transfer of power, of a great and highly refined major power in the making of India's civilizational history, the Chola kingdom. It was given, forget the controversy, whether to Mountbatten and then to Jawaharlal Nehru or directly to Jawaharlal Nehru, specially prepared and consecrated to symbolize the transfer of power to the sovereign people of India.
But historians have contested
For
that, Pavan
whatever
Verma
reasons,
including Rajmohan Gandhi, the grandson of Rajaji. He has contested that. He's saying there's no documentary evidence to back that claim.
Okay, let's accept that it is not fully accepted, but the symbolism of the Sengol is, I think, not in doubt. It symbolizes transfer of power, and we have evidence to believe that it was in the possession of a nation on the eve of its independence, which happens to be 14th August 1947. Now, for whatever reasons, and I don't doubt their bona fides, the Congress did not use it, and it was relegated to relative anonymity in a museum in Allahabad. A new government which built the new parliament has decided to give it its due place in its own wisdom as a representative of a civilizational history, and I think any controversy over it is unnecessary.
Okay.
After all, the parliament consists of many symbols which belong to many faiths. I mean, if you enter parliament,
fair enough.
Right at the beginning, I remember when I first went into Raj Sabha, the saying inside is from the Upanishad, Udar Charitanam Vasudhaiv Kutumbukam. So you have a certain symbolism. The BJP may have used it for political reasons, but it's not entirely out of place or necessarily partisan, because there are many aspects of parliament and which are
let me also ask Abhijit Majumder
so that
this.
Is one
Fair enough. No, the Ashok Chakra itself, was a Buddhist symbol that's there on our national flag. It's there in the Parliament building. It's there as part of our official seal and emblems. But let me ask Abhijit Majumder, the contention that the BJP is saying that Rahul Gandhi goes to foreign soil every time and he criticizes India and he criticizes the government from there. Well, what difference does it make where he's criticizing from? He's an opposition politician. His job is to criticize the government. Whether he does it in New Delhi or whether he does it in San Francisco, how is that a crime?
No, it's not a crime, Dhaka, but it's certainly, the times that we live in, the information that we have got on our hands, when people like George Soros openly says that he is waging a war against the current Indian government, and because he thinks that it's autocratic and all that, and he's funding. He announced a $1 billion funding to weaken democracies like this. When the Congress party doesn't divulge, doesn't bring to public sphere the MOU it signed with CCP, the Chinese Communist Party, then it is only fair that there is some kind of transparency who Rahul Gandhi meets, more than the content of his speeches, which is anyway pretty thin, in my opinion. There might be other opinion about it, but who is he meeting? I mean, some of the list that is circulating in public of his itinerary that is circulating in public. There are certain people linked to organizations which are linked to Jamaat, Muslim Brotherhood, and have had a very, very adversarial position on India's on Kashmir to India. My point is, does Rahul Gandhi ever meet a Hindu group when he is abroad? Hindu interest group, does he ever meet? I mean, Alokji, all due respect, he said that never in his independent India's history has been the othering of Muslims so acute. Now, my point is that there is, does Congress have data to back it? Have lynchings happened only of Muslims by Hindus? There are, there's so many times Hindus have been beheaded. I mean, there have been 6 or 7 beheadings after this Nupur Sharma episode, calling for Sat Tan Se Juda, with those chants on video.